Okay, today's lesson comes from the Move Maker blog. The morning I forgot the cup. So come along with me on this journey. It's about 9:05 a.m. and I have just gotten back home from what should seriously be considered an Olympic event known as school drop-off. And if school drop-off were a fitness class, because this is how I relate things in my life, it would 100% be labeled something along the lines of like chaotic cardio, and in the notes it would say no warm-up, no cool down, like just go. And the night before, the kids didn't go to bed. Don't judge me too harshly. They didn't go to bed till around 11. And it's not because we had planned some sort of like late night family bonding activity or experience, but they just apparently are freaky creatures that don't ever get tired, apparently. And so as the night dragged on, came to the surface that was not true, because their energy started to go down, voices started to get louder, people started getting tears in their eyes. I'm not going to tell you who was doing which one. You can picture that however you want. But eventually, everyone collapsed into bed and morning arrived way, way too early. So I'm awake. I shuffle in the kitchen. I look like a total tumbleweed. My hair was quite something. If you can picture Zoe from K-pop Demon Hunters, I had done the 2 messy buns the day before. But I didn't have the messy buns in my hair anymore, just the creases from said buns. It was like, it looked cute the day before. It was a little more intentional. And this day it definitely was reading more like a survival look. So coffee was step 1. And like a very attentive adult, I noticed that our Keurig was low on water, which is incredibly annoying and happens all the time. So I calmly, I filled up the pitcher, I poured it in, I picked up my K-cup, I closed the lid, I pressed brew, and I walked away. And some of you already know what happened because it's the freaking title of the blog, but I forgot a very, very important step in making coffee, which is the cup. So when I came back, coffee was filling up the tray underneath the machine. It was a disaster. Now, if we want to look for a silver lining here, which I often try to do, by some miracle, I had not selected the largest cup size. And weirdly, maybe because this happens a lot, maybe I'm not the only one, the tray catching it is actually quite deep. So the chaos was contained, but I still was feeling quite incompetent. So I cleaned it up, continued with the morning because there's stuff to do. And the next thing I had to address was waking up the kids, because we were already probably going to be late. We are just about every day. So I walk in their rooms and throw open their curtains and let the sunshine in. And I don't know why I do this to them. I greet them with a nice, peppy, loud, good morning. And my husband does it to me on the weekends, and I hate it. But somehow, here I am, just passing along the trauma down to the next generation. So sunlight, loud noises, I do it in one room, I move down the hall, I do it in the next room, and then I give them a few minutes, because I'm not a total monster, give them a few minutes to wander out like little confused woodland creatures, okay? And typically I prepare fairly well for these morning routines. I have already organized in their weekly hanger system on the back of their bedroom door what they're going to wear. And I grab it, I toss it on the floor in front of them so that they can get themselves dressed. For breakfast, more often than not, we've pre-negotiated it the night before to avoid any debate. And so it just appears on the table like magic. And while they are occupied with these tasks that they must accomplish, I try not always successfully to get my own self ready and put in my contacts and brush my own damn teeth before 8 o'clock. So on this particular day, I heard the sound, one of the sounds, there are several, one of the sounds that no parent wants to hear. I am in my bedroom trying to get myself ready, and I hear my son head to the bathroom. And I'm thinking, great, going to the bathroom is on the list. But what I was not so pleased to hear was a very specific sound, and that sound was pee hitting the trash can lid. If you've ever heard that sound, if you've only heard it once, you will know it forever. And I entered the bathroom with very investigative energy. He, it turns out, was distracted because he was trying to use the bathroom and check out this new toy that they had gotten. Perhaps you've heard of it, a Labubu. Ugh. That's a whole other topic. When I saw how it was distracting him, I grabbed it. I did not freeze. I often freeze. I did not in this situation. I grabbed it and I threw it, friends. I threw it back into my bedroom, which in hindsight, it probably most definitely escalated the situation because the tears from the night before, they resumed, and I felt like an absolute jerkhead, you know, and we just muffled our way through the rest of the morning. We got through it. I got them to school, all good. But the story does not end there. After I dropped them off, I stopped at the pharmacy and I was in the area. So I thought, I'll, meander down to Mickey D's or Old McDonald's, as we like to call it, and get myself, I deserve a treat, I thought. Get myself an iced coffee. And I'm going to repeat that because I ordered, as I always do, a medium iced coffee with no sugar. And this is a very important detail. I want you to know this, that if you ever order an iced coffee from McDonald's, it automatically comes with liquid sugar. Yes, I said liquid sugar, not sugar packets, okay? Not like a fancy creamer with sugar in it. Liquid sugar. It literally says it on the menu when you order it. So I've learned the system that you order, you say, hey, I'll have the cream, no sugar. Except that day, when I pulled up to the window, they handed me a plastic cup full of just black coffee, no cream. First world problems, right? And I stared at it like I had forgotten how beverages work, and like a total idiot, I looked back at the lady and I said, does this have cream in it? And she very politely said, oh, no, it said no cream. And I was very confused. I still didn't have my wits all about me from the morning, and I was genuinely confused because I had definitely ordered no sugar, not no cream. And so she took it back and very kindly added cream to it and handed it back to me again. And I still, very confused, looked at her and I said, well, but there's no ice in it either. Because remember, it was an iced coffee. So she hands me a cup of ice, which I was grateful for. And I scooted forward in line so as not to block the window, and I assembled my own beverage in the Old McDonald's parking lot. It felt like I was doing my own little science experiment. And did I spill on myself when I took the lid off? Absolutely. Yes, I did. But at the end of it all, did I have my iced coffee with cream? Yes. So, and really, I had a whole bunch of extra ice, and I snacked on those little ice chips on the way home, and it was delightful. So at this point, you're like, what's the point? Get to it, Lindsay. The point, my friends, is that some mornings feel like a perfectly choreographed routine. You nailed it. And other mornings, quite often actually, feel like you brew your coffee with no cup, and you throw your kids stuffy during a bathroom investigation, and you assemble your own iced coffee in a parking lot. Like, that is the more common morning. And yet, I still had my kids give me a hug goodbye. I still got kisses at the car door. And I still made it home with coffee in hand. Thank the Lord. Was it perfect? No. But it was functional. We accomplished what we set out to accomplish. And sometimes that is the real lesson. Life is not about perfect mornings. It's about recovering from those messy ones and cleaning up the coffee tray, apologizing when you lose your patience, adding a little cream to your own coffee, right? And you just keep moving, because the truth is that most of us are just out here brewing our coffee and sometimes forgetting the cup. So let's give each other a little bit of grace.